I'm Karen from 24 Hour Bookkeeper. Why should you care about labor burden? We've all heard it. You should be tracking your labor burden. Great! But how do I do that exactly? I'll tell you all about it today. I'm also going to tell you why it's important, what kind of information to include, and how you can incorporate it on all your jobs moving forward. When we think of an employee cost, we might only be thinking about their actual wage. But if you really think about it, an employee costs a lot more than just their wage because you have to pay taxes, health insurance, vacation pay, or you could have provided them with a company cell phone. Make sure you don't forget that these are really important costs and they should be included as part of your employee's cost calculation. As much as I didn't give you the description for labor burden, that's basically what it is. The employee wage plus every tax and benefit above it. This information is most crucial when you create your estimate. When you figure labor hours, you might have taken their wage times a bunch of hours, or you used your billing rate, which is actually different than the labor burden. Your billing rate is what your customers pay, so if that's what you're using in your estimate after you've calculated all your costs, you're likely using basic markup. Why not figure your costs and mark up the job from there? You might hear someone mention you should calculate your full burden rate. If so, this is your employee wage plus everything above it, as cost rate or a fully burdened rate. Remember, this is different than your billing rate, which is really what your customer's paying you and not the cost of that actual employee. I'm asked frequently to calculate the burden rate, so I'm going to jump in and show you how to calculate one. First of all, you want to know the employee's hourly wage. This is strictly their gross salary or their hourly pay. If you have an employee that is paid $50,000 a year, as an employer, you are also required to pay your portion of those payroll taxes on that employee. You'll have to pay Social Security, which is 6.2%. We're going to take this percentage and multiply it by the wage. You also need to pay Medicare tax, which is 1.45%. You will also take that percentage and multiply it by the wage. Every state is different, but you will likely have to pay unemployment on the hours worked for that employee. In this example, unemployment costs the company $2,000 per year. For workers' compensation, this is usually a per hour fee. In this example, we're going to say it's 35 cents per hour worked. Remember, I'm calculating this on an annual basis, and then I'm going to break it down by hours. So my cost without any benefits would be $56,553. I'm a company that sponsors a health insurance plan, and it costs me $10,000 for this employee. So I'm adding it to my calculation. This brings me to a grand total of $66,553. All full-time employees work 2,080 hours in 1 year, so I'm going to divide my cost by that employee's hours. There are no other benefits for the sake of this example. Based on these calculations, my employee costs a total of $31.99 per hour, which is more than double their wage. There could be a variety of additional costs that I didn't include today, like fringe benefits, vehicle allowance, per diem, and more. A great benefit to being able to identify your burden rate is to know if it makes sense for you to have employees. You might find out that it's less expensive to outsource some of the work versus hiring in-house or direct labor employees. Once you've got this rate put together, it's really important that you utilize it in your estimates. You should use this calculation for all your employees or even keep a cheat sheet. You can categorize your employees by group, so it'd be easier to calculate based on the group they're in. For example, you might clump your carpenters together or your superintendents together. They would have different cost rates, obviously. You can also create a spreadsheet listing all your employees and then having different columns for each cost. So if something changes, you can easily change one of the numbers. If you're going to use a timesheet app or project management software or even something as simple as QuickBooks, you would be able to put this cost rate in the employee profile to calculate the true hours worked for employees on that project or even pull reporting from it. Thanks for watching this video. For more videos, make sure to click subscribe. You can also find more info on financial management by going to our website at 24hourbookkeeper.com, which can be found in the comments. See ya!